All rise for the Honorable Judge Jay.
Oh, yeah.
You heard the bailiff. There he is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
it's
where's
official.
the bailiff's? The other day, the bailiff had a bulletproof vest on.
Yeah, it looked like a bomb jacket.
Why'd you lose that, Anthony?
I was told no for that.
That was a better call.
By the way, our
a
break,
good
got
move.
overruled.
our break was longer because I had to go to the bathroom. I
This
couldn't
is a
wait till
true
the end of the
story.
show.
He did a good hustle.
I couldn't make it 2 hours, but I moved as fast as I could.
All right,
We're getting diapers.
Welcome to the sports court. I am your judge, Judge Jay. I know you've been sworn. I've read your complaints. We've got 2 cases on the docket today. We actually might stretch it to 3, but we've got 2 real good debates, I believe. The first one's going to pit Bull against G. Bush. We want to know, do you prefer 1 o'clock kickoffs in the NFL, or do you prefer the night game so you can pregame? Do you like the 8:20 start? Who wants to start?
Go ahead, G. You start us
I'm gonna
off.
start. First of all, I want to say, as a black man, I'm very uncomfortable around the judge with these.
Totally.
I'm going directly to jail.
Yeah, this wasn't a good time frame for you.
Jay is way too white right now.
Yeah.
That's that 1776 style. No. Oh, no parts of that. All right, we'll go to the game. We wasn't doing too good back then. I just had a flashback. I just
Your
did a whole
Honor,
nother
Your
play.
Honor would like to apologize for
everything-
centuries of mistreatment.
For everything that happened.
If there was anything we could do to make that right,
Short of
believe
reparations.
me,
Short of reparations.
Hey, listen.
anything.
Tag to go ahead and drop a couple extra dollars in that joint, right? But here's what we'll say. Everybody plans their life around them 1 o'clock games. Give me the daytime joint. You know why? Because I got a little bit of time to get over it before I need to go to work on Monday. And we 0-16 or in the last 16 years in terms of the first game of the season. If the Browns lose, guess what? I can take my Tylenol PM, eat my dinner, and go to sleep and get ready to go be at work talking to them in the water cooler about how trash we are. If the Browns win, I get a little bit of extra time to celebrate now, don't I? I get to move around. I might call hey, this Chuck. Hey, Chuck, man. Yeah, them Browns was looking good, man. That boy, yeah, we Super Bowl. You could do all of that for about 5-6 hours. You can look around. Every game after that is enjoyable. You watch the 4 game.
Yeah,
You
that
watch
is
the
nice.
you watch the 8 game.
In a good mood.
In a great mood. You just breaking down the game. Yeah, see, they ain't got what we got. See, we get our backs involved. Look at that. That's why you need a 1 o'clock game. You get it over with. It's ready to roll. You can't be sitting around at 8 to wait for your game because now it's 12 o'clock, midnight. You want to wait till
Team
midnight?
1 o'clock came strong.
G, let me tell you something. First of all, the only 2 things that Clevelanders love almost as much as the Browns is drinking and fantasy football, correct?
That's
right?
true.
Those are very popular
I think
here
it's
in Cleveland.
drinking and drinking.
Well, maybe that. Okay, drinking, right? So here's the thing. The night game, you get to drink more. And then you are really tanked up for the game, having even a better time because you're more drunk. That's number 1. Number 2, if the Browns play at 1 o'clock, we are all so locked into the Browns game that I can't pay attention to my fantasy football team because there's 10 other games. But when the Browns play at 8 Sunday night, they play Thursday night, Monday night, I can be locked into the Browns game. And then at 1 o'clock, I can watch the Red Zone, or if you have the Sunday ticket, I can bounce around from game to game and stay up on my fantasy team. The number 1 reason why, one of the main reasons why the NFL is so popular is because it's the easiest sport to gamble on, and people love playing fantasy football. I would say 3/4 of football fans, especially those 50 and under, play fantasy football. And you could pretend that you only want to watch the Browns. That's bogus. You want to watch the Browns, and you want to watch your fantasy team. And having all the biggest window, 1 o'clock with the most games, I want to be able to watch all my fantasy games. And as you said, if you win, it's great. But the Browns, in their recent history, have done a lot more losing than winning. So then you're miserable all of Sunday,
That's
and
a
you
good
don't want to
point.
be miserable on your day off.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
That's why you have sleeping medicine on deck.
So you just knock yourself
Yeah, I'm
unconscious
gone.
when the Browns lose.
I take it at the 3rd quarter.
That's your defense
Put yourself to
mechanism.
sleep.
It's called the Browns amnesia pill.
Yeah.
All right, before I make my ruling, I'd like to consult our 1-person
Mike?
jury here.
I will
are
mention-
you leaning one side or the other?
Look, I think they both make very strong points. I was about to make the same point that you did. nothing ruins a day like watching a Browns game at 1, watching them get murdered, and that ruins football for the rest of
Yes.
the day.
It
does,
If
yeah.
you're right. If they do win, you want to keep watching football. It's exciting, but you can't be excited about football after watching your team lose, and then the rest of your football day is ruined. And that's why, at least if they're playing later and I don't get to watch them lose, you still have anticipation and hope that they might win, so you can enjoy the other football games. And that is, I will make that point, and I agree with Bull on that.
Salient points all. I will say, to counter your argument, the only bad thing about the 8:20 kick is, yes, you've had all day to juice up in pregame. But mostly, we've experienced losses in those games. Mostly, we've experienced losses in the 1 o'clock games, too. I think it's so much more difficult. I've made that walk of shame out of the stadium for a night game when you probably had a few too many pops, and everything feels worse
You're emotional.
when you've had too
Dark and
many
dingy.
pops. So
Yeah.
it's dark and dingy. But however, although I thought you made some good points as well, I think 1 o'clock is just a little too early. I love, personally, the 4 o'clock kickoffs. I can
Splitting the
watch
difference.
all of my
I like
fantasy
the 4.
games and players
Right.
at 1 o'clock.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then if you're in the 4 o'clock game, it's a national game
Yeah.
mostly. They put the big games in that 4 o'clock slot.
I like that.
So I'm going to make my ruling, and this is probably the only time that I will do this. I don't believe there's a right or wrong answer. You could play an NFL game Tuesday at 3 in the morning.
I'm in.
And I'm okay with that.
That's right.
Wow.
Now, you're shaking your head in disapproval.
I just want to know how you even got appointed to this position if you're unwilling to make the tough choices.
well, it is.
I mean,
it is
this is what's
questionable.
wrong with the judiciary right here.
This is a lifetime appointment.
I know, that's
It
the other
is.
thing. You know, and he's in great shape. That guy's, he's got another 40 years of not making decisions.
I will
being
I'll
on
tell
the
you,
fence.
this is probably the
Jay
only
Bader
time.
Ginsburg.
That's really what it is. Retire.
This is the only time I will
Yeah.
ever not make
All
a
right.
firm ruling.
You heard him.
Because when I first heard this question, I thought, my goodness, I don't care when it is, where it is. It's the NFL. I'm in. Okay, let's go to Mikey
Jay, before
McNuggets.
you move on,
okay,
real
yes,
quick.
absolutely.
I think this also reminds me that we need to have an Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show Fantasy Football League.
And it is done.
Wow.
Yeah, can the court
That's
reporter
official.
please put that into the record?
Go. That's
Yeah.
going to be
What's
fun. A lot of trash talking.
Well,
on that.
all I need to know is what's the wager.
We'll figure that part out.
And the
but
team name, the league name. We'd have to have a good league name too. But I love that idea.
Love it. Let's
Love
do
that
it.
idea. Okay, let's go to Mikey McNuggets for our second topic. What is our
Mikey.
second topic on the docket today?
Before I give you the second topic, I want to read one YouTube comment. This is from Rob Hampton.
Okay.
Who says Garrett needs Abe Lincoln as his lawyer.
Rail splitter.
Hampton. Shout out to the YouTube chat. Keep the comments
The judge not
good.
only allows that, but he encourages that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
bring him
Okay,
back from the
what
dead.
is our second topic?
We put a tweet out last night asking for submissions. This was a viewer submission question from @EmmaHendersonTV. She asked, "Is cereal a soup?"
We know her.
Yeah, she's one of our reporters at WKYC
that's our
Channel
girl.
3.
Yeah.
Wow, she's going to be thrilled that we picked her questions because I saw a lot of the questions were very good.
We added them all to the list. We will get to them. We promise we will
So
get to them.
there's like a holding folder for that. For future
We have
episodes of
31
Judge Jay.
questions currently on the list.
Okay, so here is the way the docket lines up on that. That is going to be Bull versus Mike.
Yeah.
So Mike, would you like to start?
I prefer not.
I'll go first.
Yeah,
There
I have the way
is
worse
an
job.
advantage
Because-
to go last.
Yeah, there is, but this is absurd. There is no argument here, Your Honor. Of course, cereal is not soup. It's the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life. In fact, I'll steal this from Mike because he used a dictionary definition.
Sure.
I didn't print mine up. But in the dictionary definition of soup, it says a broth or water. And in cereal, you don't use broth. You got the
I
definition?
might. Go ahead.
You don't, there's no, it's not a broth, it's not a water. Soups are usually hot. They usually got meats or vegetables in there. And cereal has none of those things. It doesn't have a broth, it doesn't have water, it doesn't have meat or vegetables, and it doesn't have, what did I forget? No, I got everything.
That's
It doesn't have
everything.
any of those things, and it's cold. It's not soup.
Counsel, that is a very solid argument. I will tell you, Mike, before you go, you're facing an uphill climb.
This is like the Scopes monkey trial in here, and you guys, yep.
Yes, it is.
I know what I'm up against. And when I was assigned this argument, I was on your side, frankly. I really was. I was like, how can I do this? I mean, what am I going to do?
So you're not married to this
No, I
argument?
wasn't. But then I started doing some research.
I don't like this.
Now, first of all, the definition, to be clear, is a liquid food, especially with a meat, fish, or vegetable stock. Especially with, not essentially with.
Exclusively.
Exclusively with.
Yes.
As a base and often containing pieces of solid food. I mean, here's the thing. You're right, we can parse this language, but what we got here is we have a cream-based soup. There are cold soups. Let's look at gazpacho.
That shouldn't be called. That's disgusting.
I'm not saying it's good.
But
I'm
it
just
is-
saying
it is a
technically
thing.
It is a thing,
a
yes.
thing, and it is considered a soup. Next, you got a cream-based soup, which is just like pretty much like a bisque or something like
Yes,
that, really.
absolutely.
And what do you have in there? You got grains. Grains is really what we're looking at here. And oats. You got corn, which is, what's a cornflake? It's made out of corn. What's a corn chowder? A corn chowder is corn with a cream-based soup in it.
That's actual corn.
It is actual corn, but the form of it is like.
You think there's
we can
actually
argue
really
over that.
corn in cornflakes?
Yeah, I think so. Legally, they probably have to. So what I'm saying is, though, you're right. I don't want cereal to be a soup. I don't want to live in a world where cereal is a soup, but we don't get to choose the world that we live in. And technically, based on the definition, for example, if you were to say to me, hey, what's your favorite fruit? And I were to tell you that it's tomato, you'd think I was a crazy person. But technically, a tomato is a fruit. Okay,
Yeah.
so I don't like that. We don't treat it as a fruit. It shouldn't be. It's wrong, but it is a fruit. We can't ignore classifications just because they don't fit our preconceived conceptions of what food is supposed to be.
But based on that analysis, a bowl of urine with corn in it would be soup.
Technically, it would.
Take that last remark from the record. I can never hear that kind of language in this courtroom again.
I think we should.
Unless you want to see me projectile vomit.
Right.
And that would be soup. That
I'm
would
ready
be
to hold
soup.
you in contempt.
Your vomit would be soup. based
Stand
on
down,
this.
counsel.
Hey,
You
listen.
can't handle the truth.
Listen. John Quincy Adams is right. We
Couldn't
shouldn't
even
have
give
to hear
John
that
Adams.
again.
He had to be Quincy.
Order in my courtroom.
Your Honor,
I don't appreciate the talk of urine and food.
in summation, Your
Number
Honor,
one.
whether we like it or not, and believe me, I don't want this to be considered a soup. Cereal is a soup based on definition, in my opinion.
Strong argument. Let's go to the one-man jury. G Money, this is you. G Bush, do you agree with Bull or are you siding with Mike?
Let's go to the African American jury. Do you guys like rap music?
Love it.
Here, it's gonna get
Love
awkward.
it.
Old rap music.
Oh, well, there
Old
you
school.
go.
Yeah, I'm with
yes.
you too.
What-
yeah.
what-
Give me
what-
Dre, Snoop.
I'm biased. I'm going with Bull. It's not a soup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh, okay. I'm ready to make my ruling. I have to say that there are times when you sit on the bench that you have to make rulings that in your heart you disagree with.
There we go.
In your heart you know that this is not the right thing. But we also, as judges, have to follow
Tough choices.
the
Precedent.
Constitution of
Whatever
humanity.
I say.
Of the show.
And before I heard the case, and this just will prove that I will hear everything with an open mind. Before I heard the case, I was solidly, counsel, on your side that no, cereal is not a soup.
Yeah.
But I thought Counselor Polk brought some very, very good arguments to the table.
He brought no good arguments.
Most importantly, he did not invoke urine
That's true.
in my food.
Fair.
Yep.
And so even if I wanted
Know
to
your
rule
judge
in your favor,
that you're going in front of.
I cannot. So my ruling in this case is, Counselor Polk, you win the case. As much as I hate to admit it, cereal is soup.
And you
cereal is a
also
soup.
win the championship belt for the day.
Oh my
There you go.
gosh.
Listen.
People's champ.
The people's champ. This is the color of, like, technically
I'm
gold.
heartbroken.
But by the way, yeah, you should have won, but they rigged
ridiculous.
it. It was a hung
It's a
jury.
ridiculous
My man
decision.
won
I've
that.
never felt so confident.
Champion
Man.
for the day. There you go. There you go.
is great.
I don't do well, just so you know, I don't do well with like urine talk.
I've noticed that.
I knew that going
as it
in.
pertains
Yeah.
to being in food.
Sure.
Got a real phobia.
We all have our